247 laps complete, 38 to go. Here's your top four. Kyle Busch, the 18, Bobby Labonte, the 96, then Brian Vickers and David Rudiman, the 00. Rudiman's best career finish is 9th. And so he's working on a personal best.
And you heard Chris say that they told Rudiman he was going to run out on 284.7. That does not come as a huge surprise to me. Steve Holland, who is over there as their technical director from Formula One, those are the kind of numbers that those guys are used to dealing with. They don't deal in a lot. They deal in the little bitty numbers, and that's what that reminded me of when I heard it, like a Formula One calculation.
So if we stay green, he runs out of gas in turn 3 of the last lap.
Exactly.
Wow. Let's have a look at today's Sprint Monster Mobile moment. And it's going to be Kyle Busch getting a great jump on that restart. Remember, he qualified on pole but had to start way out back, and he worked his way up to getting this jump on the restart to get past Bobby Labonte for second, then past Jeff Burton for the lead. And right now Kyle Busch has a half-second lead on Bobby Labonte.
You know, Larry, I just pointed out to you Jeff Gordon, who's running 10th. You think about the tale of 2 pit stops, or 2 guys trying to get on pit road. Jimmy Johnson got on pit road, but he slid through his pit box. Jeff Gordon missed his pit box, but he stayed on the racetrack. While Jeff was on the racetrack and they're pushing Jimmy back into his pit box, caution comes out. Jimmy gets loses a lap, and Jeff goes on around and comes in and gets his tires changed.
Of course, the caution was for Jeff. You see the damage on his car, and Jimmy has since gotten back on the lead lap. So a bad run of luck, but a short one for the 200.
Seems to be.
But that 24 car, he had to make a couple extra stops, so he has 2 or 3 more laps of fuel than a lot of our guys leading this race right now. But he's cracked the top 10. He's up in 10th.
And that's what makes a champion: taking something bad, turning it around, and trying to capitalize on, make something good out of it.
Now also Casey Kane and Robbie Gordon made their pit stops 4 laps after most of the rest of the leaders. Now Jeff's picks for today's AT&T fastest pit crew are the 18 of Kyle Busch, the 96 of Bobby Labonte, and the 31 of Jeff Burton. Don't forget to vote for the AT&T fastest and most valuable pit crew of the year.
It's Todd Parrott, Bobby Labonte's crew chief. You saw Steve Addington, Kyle Busch's crew chief.
Kyle Busch has not pulled away from Bobby Labonte. The margin stays pretty constant. Matt at just about half a second. Can't he get away, or is he saving a little gas?
That's exactly what he's trying to do, Mike, trying to save fuel. At the beginning of this run, Steve Addington told Kyle, you need to try to save us some fuel. Kyle responded a few laps ago, I've just been trying to be easy on the throttle, trying to save gas, but the car does continue to get looser and looser as this run goes on. Steve?
Well, Matt, Bobby Labonte knows he's close. Crew Chief Todd Parrott has told him that, and just seconds ago, Todd told Bobby Labonte, as you go on board with him, save fuel like Doug Yates told you this morning on the straightaways.
Which means, 2 things I hear right there. One is that save fuel. Well, he means back off early on the straightaway. Don't take, if you turn 95, to only turn 92. That'll save a little bit of fuel. And a loose race car like Kyle Busch is driving, it'll burn less fuel. It's not bogging it down in the corner. So those 2 guys are on pretty similar strategies.
How about Carl Edwards, Matt, in 5th place?
Still turning lap times faster than the leader, but also somewhat concerned about fuel. He asked Bob Osborne about 10 laps ago, where do we stand? Are we good on fuel? Bob said 2 laps if we get so-so fuel mileage, 2/10 of a lap if we get what we expect. So it could be very close for Carl Edwards, Krista.
What about David Rudiman? Where are the calculations at now? We talked about 284.7. They were going to be 3/10 of a lap short. Well, Rudiman has been doing his job. He's saving fuel. The newest calculation, and it's still very detailed, Daryl, 286.4.
Yikes.
As a rule, what we have observed over the last year or so, the Dodges and the Toyotas do not get as good a fuel mileage as the Chevrolets and the Fords. But when I look at that 99 car, how many races did we watch him win in 2008 when Bob Osborne said, I don't think we can make it. We're going to be 2 or 4 laps shy.
You're right. Nobody's better at saving fuel than Carl Edwards. Up front, Kyle Busch still holding station, half a second ahead of Bobby Labonte. Brian Vickers 1.5 seconds back.
Darrell, let's take a look at the telemetry on Carl Edwards here. Let's watch the throttle. See, he actually rolled out well before he got down into the corner. Now let's watch him feather it. We're looking at the throttle right here. He was quite a ways over into turn 2 before he picked that throttle up 100%. This is down the back straightaway. Rolled out even before he turned it off the wall down into the corner.
And all the way off. Not any part throttle, all the way off and then squeeze into it. Caution. Got a yellow out.
Back straightaway debris puts us under caution. This will be the 12th caution of the day. Is that a record? Yes.
And these are the kind of cautions I don't like, because desperate people do desperate things, and you're going to have a lot of people trying to get a lap back, and races coming down to the closing stages.
There's the piece of debris. Well, this is where all the fuel mileage is out the window. This is where you got to get on pit road, have a nice solid stop. But I just believe with probably a restart with just a little over 20 laps to go, I think we'll see some people try just right side tires on pit road.
Well, now, if you like long odds, do you know who has never won at Las Vegas in the 11 races we've had here? The driver who qualified on the pole. Pole winners never won at this racetrack.
Good point.
Kyle Busch won the pole, had to start in the back because of an engine change, and he is the leader.
You know what else, Larry? I'm just not so dadgum sure that there might be somebody that says, I'm not even coming in.
Hey, guys, right quick. It took him all day long, but right now he's leading the race, and he's got the #1 pit position. So Kyle Busch may also have a huge advantage on everybody else, whether he takes 2 or 4.
I'm definitely going to take 2. I want that track position. We've seen it over and over and over that the car out front, he's got the advantage.
But if you're going with just the fuel only, you only have to be there. The car almost just barely has to stop. We're not going to be that shy on fuel.
Yeah. If that's all I was going to do, I wouldn't come in. I'm telling you.
Sam Hornish gets the free pass. And let's see who will come and who will. And what will they do? Krista.
Well, it's gambling kind of town, right? Not day for David Rudiman. They were so disappointed when that caution came out. They know they could have made it on the fuel. They're going to come in and take right side tires only. He says his balance is good. He just needs a little bit more grip in the center. Steve?
Krista, Bobby Labonte in the 96, he comes to a stop. Should be right sides only for the 96 and the 83 of Brian Vickers in the lower left, Matt.
And a chassis adjustment for Kyle Busch. Right side tires only. And what DW talked about, that's what Jeff Burton, the 31, was talking about. But he was told, we just need about 2 seconds of fuel. We can't try to chance it.
And a close call on pit road. Bobby Labonte was leaving his pit as Jimmy Johnson was coming into his.
That could have been real bad.
Clint Boyer, the leader of those who stayed out and did not pit.